one's empty, Elaine.
Oh, okay,
This one's full.
thank you.
You betcha.
But it's not very full if we're down to the pink.
No.
The
No, if you
beige.
need more, I'll go get them.
I'll be fine. I may have to leave into the week. Bob's sister died in
Oh,
Oregon.
I'm sorry.
No, don't be. God love her.
Which,
Mary,
Mary.
Mary Agnes, the oldest.
Yeah, that's
We're
important.
trying to figure out how we're gonna pull this off. And of course, this is a very, very busy time for Bob with the trucks going 90 different directions. So, and if we go that way, both of my brothers live out that way. So I don't know how it's gonna shake out. I looked last night about flying, and he said, well, I don't think we're going to go at all, so. I don't know. I'll let you know, I'll let somebody know if we're gonna go and I'm gone.
Okay. That sounds good.
She'd had a stroke a month ago, and, hasn't been good. But God love her, she was 85.
Yeah.
She had a good long life,
Yeah, that's excellent.
so. What a lady, huh?
What's that?
I guess we're good. Please stand for the pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Thank you. Good morning, everybody.
Good morning.
Brother County Commission, October 19th, 2015. You know, it seems like just yesterday we were turning into 2000 and now. Okay, public comment, Montana Minute, Franklin.
Oh, I didn't bring any Montana Minute, just. Other than that, there was a search and rescue just called out again, there's a gal got lost in that race they had, you know, within here in Jefferson County.
Oh, really?
Yeah, spent the night out, I guess,
She's okay?
yeah.
Huh. Okay, Laura.
I've been out of the country for a couple of, for 11 days officially. And my welcome home today was that gorgeous red sunset that came over the mountain and just covered the whole sky. But, you know, welcome home.
Welcome home and welcome back.
Thank you.
Commission update, Franklin.
Attended the Elkhorn Restoration meeting and LEPC meeting.
And what's going on with Elkhorn?
Oh, the press on the paper, the Forest Service is gonna do a bunch of studying, and they get this, they call it the Johnny Crow scoping area up there, in the Crow Creek. And so that's what the Forest Service gives us a report there about that, so.
Good. Laura? I suspect none.
None.
Okay. I was Rocky Mountain Development. I also met here at the courthouse with some constituents that had some real concerns for one of our departments. And I won't go into it at this time, but. And also, I interviewed for the county health nurse on Friday,
Ah,
and that went very well. So, I think that's all. Brian, we're just 3 minutes early, come on up.
Morning.
Good morning.
good morning.
Seems like a long time since I've been here.
As well.
It's okay. As far as things in the solid waste world, everything is going okay, knock on wood.
I suppose it's picking up now with fall.
Actually, it's kind of slowing down. So,
Really?
yeah. Trash wise, it kind of tapers off. You know, we've seen majority of the garden stuff come in already, so we haven't had a big rush there. We'll see some leaves and that kind of thing in the next few weeks, but for the most part, it's kind of at a lull, which is nice.
Yeah,
The summer was crazy.
give you a chance to catch your breath.
Yeah, it'll give us a chance to get caught up and hopefully get ahead on a few things. Everything else it's kind of just plugging along, so it's nice. I was gone most of last week to a safety coordinator workshop in Billings.
And how
It
was
was
that?
put on by Mako. It was pretty good. We got some fresh ideas on things to do with our safety committee that I think will help get things implemented a little better. It's nice to know that we're not alone. There's a lot of counties in the same situation we are, and some that are a whole lot worse. So, and there's some that are doing better than us, but as far as the safety side of things go, I think we're doing okay. We've got a plan, we just need to firm it up a little bit and move that direction.
When is the next safety meeting?
It will be the first week of November. Which will be
First
November-
Thursday.
November what? I know October snuck up on me in a big time this year. So,
On all of us.
with the first being on a Thursday, I kind of went, what? Be November 5th, looks like, will be our safety meeting.
Is that Tuesday?
That's a Thursday.
For some reason I thought November 5th was election day, but
No, the 3rd.
So, everything else, I think, is going well. Equipment's all running well. I did have a vendor stop by one day, wondering if there was anything that we needed. I told him to look into trying to find us a newer loader, front wheel loader. I kind of gave him a price and he kind of laughed, and he called me a couple days later and he says, yeah, you're probably not gonna find anything for that price range, for what you want, but I haven't given up hope yet. I wouldn't wanna spend more than about, well, I told him to keep it under 80,000. And he said, we're just, new ones are 200. And there's just not much out there right now. That was with just one vendor, though. I haven't talked to any of their salespeople about it, to put their feet to the ground and try to find something for us. And I keep my eyes open in other places too. But I'm not willing to start spending big chunks of money on that kind of equipment yet. The one we have is working. It's getting old, it's getting tired.
how old is it?
It's a 1974, and it's been rebuilt I don't know how many times.
It has some age.
It's just getting tired, and, but it's hard to find one of that size that will work for us. It's kind of the smaller side of the big wheel loaders, and there's just not a lot of them out there anymore. Everybody's building bigger equipment, so. I think there'll be a used one around somewhere. We just gotta beat the bushes to find it. We've had a chance to do a little container maintenance. That's been good. Get things back in safe working order there. We've had issues with the Raidersburg canister site. Somebody dumped a big farm truck over and peeled off our flip lids on the wall. So we had to replace those, or getting them replaced.
How did they do that?
With like a stock truck
Uh-huh.
dump bed. They'll back up and dump into the canister and then drive away to try to dump everything into the can. But they hook those
Okay.
lids when they do that and tear them up. It's just part of the deal. We try to prevent it as much as we can, but it happens occasionally. That's really about it.
If you're gonna come with farm truck, put the sides down, please.
Or, come up to the transfer station with them would be the easiest thing to do.
For sure.
We can handle them up there pretty easy. We did have an old abandoned trailer house that was delivered to us. It was a double wide. We had half of it torn apart and taken care of. And the wind that came up a couple of weeks ago on the weekend,
Help to with the rest.
well, it dismantled it pretty good. It didn't do a very good job of cleaning it up.
Funny how that works.
We had some cleanup work to do on it. We still have a little bit, but it definitely took it apart for us.
Do they pay to have those done?
Yeah.
And what is the cost?
We charge about $200 for a mobile home. So it's not too bad.
No, it's not.
Lewis and Clark County and City County just take them across their scales and you pay whatever they weigh. Gallatin County, I think, is at $600 for disposal of a mobile home now. Gallatin County is probably too much. They don't see a lot of them. I would rather be somewhere in the middle and get them to us. That way we know they're taken care of and they're not sitting out in some field somewhere to blow away with the next big wind. And then people complain about garbage blowing around. So, and we don't see a lot of that here, so.
And staff is working all okay?
Yeah, we've had a community service worker for the last few weeks. He's a good worker, he's just sporadic in his attendance. He's got a lot of issues going on that he has to work around, so, but he likes working in the plastic shed, so that's where we
Nice.
put him, and it's a good fit. He's baled a little cardboard for us, and does some trash pickup and that kind of thing, so it's working out pretty good.
Did
Got
we
quite
get
a few
anything
out.
built around that cardboard baler?
Not yet. I'm waiting to see how things shake out with Mr. Peters before we, until we get something final with him before I build anything around that baler.
Okay.
And I don't know where that sits. We were trying to get it together last week and I don't think it happened.
I had a couple of calls from Marty Peters, and apparently nothing's been accomplished down there yet.
It's because it's waiting on Corey. We've had our meetings, we've decided what's gonna happen. It's in the county attorney's office and the planning office as to what needs to be done. My part of it is just, I'm just there. I'm not really part of his issue, so.
Well, the encroachment on his easement would be part of your part there.
It's not his easement. It's the county property. He has an easement to use our property to get to where he needs to be, and we're not encroaching on it.
Yeah, well, it was, but
Well,
anyway,
according to our county attorney, we're not. But it's fuzzy, that's why it needs to be ironed out before I do anything.
And rightfully so.
that's why you have to the meeting and get it taken care of.
Well, the meetings have been called and people haven't been able to make them, so, it's not my issue.
No.
You just happen to be a neighbor,
Yeah,
essentially.
Hurry up and wait.
so that's where we're at.
Off the record, out of the journal. Could Eli come back and help play this football game Friday night? Oh, it's on tape, sorry.
He'd love to.
I bet he would.
If he were able to, he would love to come help out his brothers. But it's not gonna happen.
They've struggled this year for some.
In Class B football in Montana, you can't have injuries,
No,
and we've had way too
and not just Class B, Class AA had a game canceled because of injuries.
Yeah, Hellgate High School got.
They didn't have enough players. I mean, in a big school.
Mhm.
No, it's been a tough year.
It has been.
But his new Bulldog team is doing well.
Is it?
That's good, good.
Now, is that coach from Hawaii, is that who's there now?
No, the coach is from the town of Sheridan.
Oh, Montana?
Yeah. He's kind of back home.
There he is.
So
There used to be one there from Hawaii.
he's-
I guess it was closer to when TJ was at Western. And quite a few Hawaiian players followed him.
He's a good enthusiastic coach, and his enthusiasm is contagious.
Good,
So I think Western's gonna have a good program in a few years.
that's very good.
I know my son's gotten bigger.
As they do.
He's put on about 25 pounds, and he's got the frame to hold it. He's a big boy now. He was
He's a big boy before.
but I won't say anything to him.
You got your licks in a long time ago.
Yeah. But he's doing well.
Well, I bet the coach smiles then.
They have fun. So, anything else?
I don't believe so. Franklin?
No, just this issue with Peters there.
That's really not a solid waste issue, so we'll leave it at that.
And I will close with, job well done, keep it up, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thanks.
All right, see ya.
Well, I got a little panicky when Tammy came, when I asked her about the mail and she handed me a box. It wasn't full though, thank goodness.
No, I mean, I was here and maybe the signatures ones.
That'll be the day.
For right now.
You can't get sick.
That's the way it is.
You can't get sick.
Morning, Mike.
Morning, how are you?
Give me 5.
I will.
Here's from DEQ. Thank you for submitting your fiscal year 2016 budget in itemized accounting form FY 2015. I have reviewed the budget and the itemized accounting breakdown and have approved them as submitted. Enclosed, please find one vendor invoice totaling $6,816.86. This is full eligible grant for FY 2016 for Broward County Junk Vehicle Program. Please have the commissioners sign the vendor invoice and return it as soon as the invoice is received, the funding will be processed. During FY 2015, according to your motor vehicle graveyard log sheets, your program hauled 7 vehicles at an average cost of $47.86 per unit. These figures are lower than the state average for fiscal year 2014 of $256.74 per unit. Please contact me if you have questions. Well, what's the difference? Why is ours so much cheaper?
I don't know, good question. Might be something to ask Tammy about,
Yeah,
but I will move that we sign for that funding.
Yeah, well,
it's moved and seconded then that we sign for the DEQ for Darwater County budget for graveyard vehicles. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Mrs. Hank.
See you guys.
put it over on here to Tammy. I was kind of checking why it's such a difference.
Perfect.
Come on up, Mike. I guess I'm sorry, I only got through one thing.
That's okay.
Good morning, sir.
Morning, how are you?
Good, how are you?
Good?
You still married?
Yep.
Oh my
Barely.
gosh. 3 months, I can't believe it.
Building the house, barely married.
They say that attracts.
I had to leave yesterday and go cut firewood.
That
So,
doesn't surprise me because I've been always told, you can get through building a house together, you can get through anything.
yeah.
Running.
Better off just going to the woods and cutting firewood. Anyways, next door, okay. They've asked to have their interview room remodeled because we have a new detective. And I got to make another office in there. I think they talked to you about it when you guys did your walkthrough. With that, with the wiring and doing the walls, tearing it out, and moving some doors around, it's about $3,500.
So is there room enough for 2 offices
Mhm.
there?
Yeah, it's just one, actually, we're making one new office. We're taking and changing some of the room and there'll be actually be more stations for the detectives and not detectives, but for the deputies
Mhm.
in the other room. And then we're gonna move the room they do all the interviews, because they get blocked out of there all the time from parole. So we're gonna move them over into where their break room, well, not really their break room, but it's where their coffee and their stuff is at. And then we're gonna move everything else over into the bathroom area and move some lockers around and make some, kind of rejuggle and rearrange things. I plan on starting this right in here pretty soon, in November. So, and I figured with all the materials, about $3,500 to do all that. It's gonna probably take me, with everything else, like, us to do it. But they told me it's okay, so, but they need to get done. And plus, we need to change some things on the interview room, for the new 911 recordings and stuff like that.
Questions, Franklin?
No, we kind of looked it over that one time when we were sitting there and stuff.
And if you guys wanna look through it again, I can walk you over there and show you guys what exactly what they were wanting to do, so. And I know they probably didn't go over all of it with you, but they didn't go over all of it with me.
Yeah,
At least once, I'm sure.
Yeah, a couple times.
Yeah.
I have to tell when to relax. It'll happen. So, but that's,
No.
Because some of that storage stuff could be done in those rooms where the lockers are. There's a lot of wasted space there.
there's a lot of wasted space. We're actually gonna move that to the break room, because we have to separate the control room with the,
Interview room?
no, with the officers now, detention officers. We need to separate them because they're not allowed to have their break room in the control room. So they've been having their break room in the booking area. Or
So
they have
is
to go
that
upstairs.
state law or something?
No, we've closed things up. They're supposed to leave the control room completely closed at all times. And sometimes when they go in there, there's too many of them in there. They've addressed it for a while, but there's too many of them in there, a lot of chitter chatter, and then you get a 911 call and all the things going on. So they separated. So that's kind of another reason why we're moving the break room a little bit. Where their lockers are is gonna be their break room, because they don't need to have men's and women's lockers. They feel they got men's and women's bathroom, they just don't need to have men's and women's lockers. And then they're gonna move lockers downstairs for the detention officers, so they have a place to store their equipment, because we're just stacking everything inside the control room, which they still some of them are, so.
Almost room out in the garage part, isn't there, for the lockers?
No, because we moved some stuff out there already,
Oh,
and so you gotta have enough room for the cars when they come in. Right now, it's the one side with the 2 doors, Sally Port door and med group door, and when you can't, there's no room now. So we just moved a cabinet out there and put all their attack gear out there,
oh,
because they had it stored inside the jail, and I always used to make a joke. I said, what happens if you have a riot? You gotta, excuse me, wait a minute, let me get my gear.
funny. But no, we moved some things around in there and done some, made it a little better. But, so yeah, that's what it is, about $3,500 approximately. I don't think it'll be much more than that, and I don't think it'll be much less than that either. It'll be right in the $3,500 range.
You figure a couple months,
Yeah, I'll take them.
along with other things.
With Gizzle quite a bit, they're wanting to move around. I mean, I gotta move all the sinks over to the other side, which we can do, I've already looked at it. And just taking out a few walls and moving things around, and you have to take the doors out and put two new doors in different places. Yeah, it'll take me a little bit with everything else.
You know, since you came, you have done one heck of a remodeling job over
Yeah, I know.
there, and saved us buku bucks.
Yeah.
I've gotten contractors down to, between both places, I bet there's no more than $5,000 a year maximum in contractor fees.
And think of what it used to be.
It used to be a lot. I used to have 30,000 in my budget,
Mm.
just for subcontractors.
Wow.
I don't know
That's
what they have over there.
substantial.
I don't, I have their budget, so I don't know. Yeah,
And we know that the job's getting done right, and done well.
try.
No, you do well. For that, we'll see.
And then I know these, I mean, so I guess I can get approved for that.
I will move that we grant the approval for that project.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded, then we give Mike the go-ahead for the remodel job. Jail for the interview room. All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carried.
Okay, now can I talk about maintenance issues?
Yep.
Okay, good. Fire suppression system, I got a letter in the mail stating that our fire panel is gonna be out of date within 2 years, so we need to really think about replacing it in the next year and a half. There'll be no replacement parts. So if it goes bad, if we waited and it goes bad, you can't have public in the building.
Oh,
So we'd have to shut the building down until they got it fixed, which could be very
Such a
costly.
deal.
Yeah. It could be very costly, and then plus it could take weeks. You know, you wait till the last minute. So it's something we need to think about in the next year and a half. It's almost $3,700 to replace the panel with a new upgraded panel.
Is it in your budget?
I don't know, I haven't seen my budget since
Okay.
it came out, so it probably is, but I mean, I have to wait until the end of the year. It may be in my budget, I had quite a bit left over from last year, so if that leftover's still in my budget, I don't even know if it was rolled over or what happened to it yet. Nobody's really told me what's going on with it, so if it is rolled over, then I do have it in my budget.
Then you've got it in your budget.
Okay, so, yeah, we need to take care of that, and then I've also been dealing with, and I just talked to Connect this about 15 minutes ago. I've been dealing with this for about probably, I don't know, 3 weeks with the 911 gray bar and our Connect phone system. What's going on there is Connect can see the 911 and talk to it, but 911 won't talk to our phone system. And they've never upgraded it because computer systems go out of date very quickly nowadays. And I just talked to her, the worst case scenario right now, we're looking at about $4,000 for a whole new processor for our phone system to update, because they won't work together. Because 911, I mean, it's all new technology.
You said gray bar, what's that?
Gray bar is a new 911 system.
Okay.
The handles are 911. With all the new technology and putting in a new brand new system, it doesn't work, it's not compatible with old systems. It's kind of like our computers aren't compatible with 3 years ago computers anymore. I mean, they're just upgrading so fast that we may have to, I'm just letting you know, we may have to upgrade our phone system, and it's gonna cost about $4,000, she said. Now, there's another route they're going, they're gonna try to do some kind of analog thing where it kind of transfer forward, then it'll work, but Gray Bar and Connect and Samsung are working on that, but they don't know if that's gonna work.
Analog is pretty slow,
It is. I know.
and with 911 system, we need fast.
Fast. I know, right now, they're still on the old 911 system, and our new 911 system's installed. And it's because it's not compatible with our phone connect system.
Mm.
And so that's what they're working on. I've been dealing with this for the last, especially the last 2 weeks, almost daily. I've been on the phone with them, trying to get them, push them. And we need this done, we need this fixed, what's our solution? And they keep changing things and so that's, I just got that answer this morning, that we may have to upgrade our system in the courthouse, because the courthouse is tied into with them. So,
If we do, we do,
yeah,
because it's important to keep 911 up and running.
it is. So, I've informed Tama, and I was gonna go over and talk to her, tell her what I just found out this morning. And then also tell Brenda what's going on, and if he's in. I don't know if either one of them are in today. So,
Wynn's in,
yeah.
he's coming here shortly.
Is he? Okay. Well, that's what's going on.
You know, when you order a computer, by the time it gets here, it's out of date.
It is. I mean, look at, they got iPhone 6.3, I was just looking at that commercial the other day and took a picture and you can make it move like you would if you were just doing a film. It's crazy.
You know, I can't help but wonder what 10 years is gonna be.
I laugh at that one commercial, they just talk about, was it now you got, is it Windows 10
Mm-hmm.
out now? I mean, what happened to 8 and 9?
8 was out for a little bit, I never heard anything on 9.
And I mean, and they're saying their kids are gonna grow up with that, and the little babies are showing the commercial, I'm like, you gotta give me a break. I said, next thing you know, they're gonna be, teenagers are gonna have Windows 20,
Yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you know? And we're still stuck with Windows 7 because we can't upgrade because the state hasn't caught up to, with their systems.
Which is crazy. You
Yeah.
would think that they'd be way ahead.
Yeah, you'd think they would be, but they're way behind. Yeah, because nobody's upgrading because it costs money to upgrade. But sooner or later, you get forced to. It's kind of like our phone system. We're either gonna get forced to upgrade it no matter what, if they can't fix it properly. So, and make it work. Or sooner or later down the line, we will have to upgrade. We're in a new technology age, they say.
Mm-hmm. It's exactly what it is.
Cars driving themselves and,
Yeah. I just can't imagine parking themselves.
I saw that Sunday morning on the Good Morning, the Sunday on Channel 4 or whatever it is, ABC or CBS, they showed a guy going down the freeway, the car was changing lanes on its own. And they said if you fall asleep, it pulls over the side of the road. Has a way to detect whether you fall asleep or not.
Well, then I saw an ad that, in fact, I was looking at new cars, and I guess it was on cheat sheet about it,
Mm-hmm.
that if you start to fade into a different lane,
Mm-hmm.
or you're coming up behind somebody too fast, it lets you know.
Yeah. Yeah, they've
How
got
can
that.
it know all that stuff?
I don't know.
Those hackers will have a heyday, they'll have wrecks on those interstates that you won't believe.
Oh, yeah, they will. They will. They hack a lot of stuff. Yeah, cars changing lanes on accident. But,
Mm.
yeah, it'll happen. Nothing anybody can do to stop it. It's, in effect, it's gonna roll. So, all right, those are the only things I had. So, if I do, if in the next year I find out before the end of the year, I have this in my budget, I'll get this taken care of.
Sounds good.
So, there's no sense in waiting until the last minute.
No,
So, I would hate to have to shut the courthouse down for a couple of weeks. A lot of people would like that, but.
especially with tax time coming up.
Yeah. All right, well, thank you very much.
Thanks, Mike.
thanks, Mike. Hey, Mike, will you just ask Debbie for a copy of your budget?
Sure.
All right, you should be.
Yeah. Thank you.
You bet.
I wonder if Mr. Carpenter's gonna show today, because he never has shown.
Sometimes I got to see maybe downstairs, I guess, but I don't know.
I haven't even seen him down there the last couple of months.
I've got minutes from October 5th.
Move to approve as submitted.
I'll second.
Moved and seconded to approve the minutes of October 5th. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. We have a credit app for Townsend Tire, for the road department and solid waste.
Move to approve the credit app.
Second.
Moved and seconded to approve the credit app for Townsend Tire, for the road department and solid waste. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried.
Thank you.
Okay, claims in the amount of $63,648.50.
Move to pay the approved claims in stated amount.
No second.
Moved and seconded to pay claims in the amount of $63,648.50. All in favor say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried.
Thank you.
A bill from Vigilante Electric for the TV district in the amount of $74.95. They have to come from Phil.
Franklin, what do we know about the auditor's conversation with you?
I
regarding
got
the
ahold
TIF
of
district?
Kim Downing finally and talked to her, and she said after she got back, she talked with her associate, and as far as everything, what little it's used, leave everything as it is.
Okay, so as a separate board, with its own separate funding, is what she told you?
Just leave it as it is.
All right, then we should actually have money in the TV district fund
Okay.
for that, so I would move that, well, we don't have to move, it's just a claim.
Okay. I'm gonna put it right on top of these.
Actually, why don't I take it and put it on the bottom, since Tammy specifically requested that they stay in order,
You
and
betcha.
then that way, it'll just make it easier for her.
Okay, from the Montana Board of Crime Control. Deb Matusi, Executive Director. Advocate Restitution Officers. The Montana Board of Crime Control congratulates you on your award of your application. Enclosed is your award contract and necessary instructions. If there has been a change in the official budget representative or project director, please complete a new signature page and submit it with the documents. Please have Franklin Slivka, Broward County Commissioner, sign the following documents: award contract, special condition page, certification regarding lobbying department, debatement, suspension, and other responsibility matters, and drug-free workplace requirements, equal opportunity certification form. All the documents are required original signatures and must be returned to this office. We will release funds to you once they become available. Fiscal and narrative reports are required on a quarterly basis. Below is your user ID and password for logging into both the financial and narrative quarterly reporting system. And then it lists it. Please note, these are two separate systems, and the following is used for each. And then there's the password and the ID. Please log in immediately to create a report and set up email contacts or your reminder email. You can begin reporting on the online system 16 days after the quarter opens. Quarterly reports are now due on the 10th of the month following the end of the quarter. Please print the instructions as referenced. If you have any questions regarding your grant, please contact Tina Chamberlain and her phone number.
I will move that we accept this grant. It actually funds one of our FTEs.
But they've got Franklin as chair.
Oh, you know what, I would cross that out and put your name. I think that was prior to his resigning that position.
Are you fine with that?
I'm with me.
Hey, how are you? No mosquitoes today. You can come on in.
Have a chair.
Madam Chair, there's a motion on the floor, but no second.
What was it?
She moved to accept the grant.
How much is the grant there? And what was it for?
$26,050.
And what was it for?
An officer over at the sheriff's office.
No, under Cory.
Oh, under Cory, yeah.
Doing what?
An officer under Cory, investigator.
It's the victim's advocate position.
Oh, is it?
Mhm. Yeah.
I stand corrected. It isn't under the sheriff's office, it's Brooke.
Oh, okay. No second.
It's moved and seconded, then we sign the grant from the Board of Crime Control, amount of $26,050. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed, the same. Motion carried. Thanks for keeping me in line, Ann.
Okay. Oh, by the way.
So who is the grantee name that they're gonna want, that's gonna be filling out these forms?
Probably Brooke. Grantee. He has in the past. Could also be Cory as her supervisor.
Mhm. feel like I'm signing my life away. Would you set this one aside so I know who to fill that out? Oh, I should have Julie here in just 1 minute. A postcard from the Townsend and Helen Ranger Districts of the Hamlin National Forest are proposing a wildlife habitat improvement project within the Elkhorn Mountains west of Townsend, Montana. The Johnny Crow Wildlife Habitat Improvement Project will primarily take place in Crow Creek watershed and the Indian Creek and Johnny's Gulch drainages. The full scoping letter and map can be found on the Hamlin National Forest project page, and it gives their website. If you'd like to comment on the Johnny Crow Wildlife Habitat Improvement Project, please send comments to Townsend Ranger District by November 5th.
That too.
Thank you.
I'm just gonna summarize this one. It's a copy of a notice of trustee sale, and it's with Kavanaugh's. You're entitled to a copy of the notice elsewhere. And let's see where it says when it's gonna be. And what does it say? February 8th, 2016, at 11 o'clock, front door of the Broderick County Courthouse. Is the trustee sale.
And how many lots would you say? What's the date of the sale?
February 16th. Mhm.
Oh. I should wait for lots of them.
No, February 8th of 16, I'm sorry. It's just one lot, 106.
Oh,
It shouldn't affect, I wouldn't think, the settlement that the county gets for that, but I did give a copy of that to Corey, just because it's legal. And so I thought he should have an eye on it and
Mhm.
make any protective, do anything he needs to protect the county.
Mhm. Mr. Sample, were you hoping to talk to us today?
Sure.
Come on up.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Yes. May I sit down?
Yes, you may, please do. We only charge rent.
Used to that, basically wanted to submit the boring details and the summer's work.
you feel like it was a successful summer?
Oh, yes. We have. The stapler wasn't big enough. Sorry.
That's all right.
And then historically, from what I understand, this is the part through the Bureau of Wildlife. And all we did basically was some survey work. The water didn't, and the last page shows the latest from the electronic
Excellent.
counts.
Good.
That can be copied, yeah, is that something to look at? Shoot, that's a big staple too. And on the way down, I stopped and talked to Adam Grove,
Mhm.
so he's aware. And apparently, this gets paid and then you guys send one to him, he sends it up to, Fish, Wildlife and Parks, and then they send money back to you. That's how I understand it's been done in the past, so.
Yeah, on the little
This one
steps.
is for that part of it, so.
All right.
And FYI, unless you're really, really busy, he shared that by 2016, their internal, between the Bureau and the Wildlife Management area, they have a new cooperative agreement that they have to start working on. And he did share that, that they did get to keep the 8,000 less this, and next year would be 16, but it has to be used, whatever, has to be billed or used by this end of September. Does that sound right?
Yeah, because that's the end of the federal fiscal year.
And then their new cooperative agreement would start apparently between the Bureau and the Wildlife Management area. FYI.
So you're saying that we could actually use the money saved this year for next year, as long as it's done before next September?
Yep. Which
That's
would be-
good news.
Yep.
And that's up to 16,000 now?
Yeah, because, less this, because it's 8,000 per year. But what the Bureau had been doing was just, or at least from what I had been told, there was only $8,000 each year. So he seems to kind of want to make things happen a little bit too. And I did a suggestion to him that they were talking about some adults along the PANS 1, 2, and 3, which is on the east side, for their workers. I said, well, if you talk to the Bureau, I said, as long as the breezes are coming from the lake away, I said, we could certainly make some aerial application passes along there to make it a little more comfortable for them, so. But they don't really care to have any adulticide done, so. But depending on how we work that, so. Anyway, FYI, short term. And if
Fantastic.
you wanna talk more about that at a later time, certainly I would come down here, so. Maybe yeah, it was actually worked out pretty good. And being able to, bring 2 foggers down, one works south, one worked north, and then fly the airplane, I think that really did help get them. The fact that we have established our, and I did it on purpose, with 4 light traps, we can actually watch the Bureau, and then as they coast into town, then we can probably, keeping up on those, be able to better use or adulticide when they start coming in, instead of waiting for people to scream and holler and jump up and down. So that's one of the things I'd like to be able to have happen, so.
Good.
Good, that's good.
Other than that,
And they were bad for a while, but you got it licked, so.
yeah, one of my guys was we were gonna do around the airport to see what it's like, close to where you were on the ground.
Mm.
And then he went out, and that was on the 11th of August, and they were within 10 minutes. So that's how it does work, by air. So.
I remember calling, and the next day, there wasn't a mosquito anywhere. I loved it.
It does work, it does work. You know, when there's large amounts of them, of course, you have to kind of watch, but when they're confined, it looked like most of the folks out there were doing a lot of last minute haying, so I'm sure they were moving, and that's where Adam said one of his, Fred, I think is his name, by, is it Riley Road, et cetera, or?
I'm on Riley Road.
So I think it's further, where Pan 1 and 2 kind of come together, there's a road down there.
Yeah.
Because they were having grief down in there too, so it seemed like it was pretty localized right in that general vicinity, which is intriguing too. So.
Mhm.
They thought we were tendered for chewing on.
Yep. Right before. Well, I appreciate it.
Not a problem,
Thank
thanks for
you.
your job, well done.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Come on up, Julie,
You want me to put this down in this stack?
please. Good morning. Good morning. Like your sweater. Thank you. But I like red and black.
Yes.
Me too, obviously. Go for it.
So, I was just wondering what the outcome, well, you haven't voted to deny the changes to the regulations or approve them. And so I guess I came back with some more information.
What we did.
Right, the lack of any motion, the result is
Nothing's
status
been
quo.
done.
Right, no change.
So I'm back with that. Did you receive some information, emails or letters from folks that were for the regulations?
I didn't.
No?
They're in the mail,
No.
there, we got two, one from Ron Elliott and BSC.
Okay, there should have been a couple of emails that went to the commissioners too.
Yes, they were, one was a hard copy, the other one was in the mail. It was the two, the Ron Elliott's was an email, letter, and BSC's was a hard copy.
Yes, I have one here from Mike Grandy with Helena Sand and Gravel. It says to Julie Leathard and to the Broadwater Commissioners.
All right.
Okay,
And you didn't get that one?
I did
No.
not.
Okay.
Okay, it's to whom it may concern. I am in support of these revisions in regard to the general contractors or any carpenter with a level in the gun rack would no longer be able to install. As a carpenter on a spec house or houses has no vested interest in the longevity in the system, where a true homeowner would. We need these revisions to ensure we don't end up with another areas in the same condition that the Helena Valley is. Thank you, Mike Grandy, Helena Sand and Gravel.
And then this is from Barbara Woodbury, who is the Park County lead sanitarian. Mr. Cascadden said that he had visited with her, and I just emailed her for clarification on that, and this was her response.
No, he is misunderstanding my take on things. I think people should be licensed or certified to install septic systems. I discourage homeowners, they have to take a written test to install their own system. That being said, many homeowners install. I have seen many homeowners install, I have seen were not done very well. I specifically wrote in the regulations that the homeowner install was not intended for developers. Sections 4.4 of our regs call this out in a note. If I can be of help, please let me know. I should be around the 19th. If anyone wanted to call me, and here's her phone number and her cell phone number, I'd be happy to answer questions. I remember Mr. Cascadden, I happened to have the page of the regulations open to the very section when he came in because of another builder. Good luck, Barbara.
And these are regulations that are taken from Park County, who she's the sanitary. I highlighted in yellow the notes that she mentioned in her letter or an email.
And what she's got highlighted is a homeowner constructing, altering, or repairing an individual sewage system for his or her own resident upon his or her own property is not required to have an installer's license. It is not intended to be construed by builders who may want to own several parcels of land and who build structures on these parcels for sale, rent, or lease, and is not for the purpose of their residing in said structures. That being declared a homeowner and not subject to the license as an installer by the department. Did you want that back?
Doesn't matter.
Okay, keep it now together.
And then this was the other concern I had as far as the Board of Health not making determination on the wastewater regulations. In the past, it's always been the Board of Health that has adopted them. And according to Montana Code annotated, it does specify that the Board of Health has that authority to adopt regulations.
This is code number 50-2-116, paren K. Subject to the provisions of 50-2-130, can you adopt necessary regulations that are not less stringent than the state standards for the control and disposal of sewage from private buildings and facilities that are not regulated by Title 75, Chapter 6, or Title 76, Chapter 4.
And as you can see on our most recent document, regulations, it said it was adopted by the Broadwater County Board of Health. So just down on the bottom there where it says adopted. And I have the signature page, I didn't bring it up, but it was signed by the members of the Board of Health.
What's highlighted is a homeowner shall mean the owner of record, which is construction, altering, or repairing an individual sewage system for his or her own residence. A builder who owns several parcels of land and who builds or places structures on these parcels for sale, rent, or lease, and not for the purpose of their residing in structures shall not be considered a homeowner. And then installer certification. A homeowner constructing, altering, and repairing an individual sewage system for his or her own residence upon his or her own property is exempt from this requirement. However, the system shall be constructed in full compliance with this regulation in design and construction standards. A non-certified installer other than a homeowner may construct no more than 3 on-site wastewater treatment systems in Broadwater County during their lifetime. The department shall require the person to become a certified installer before they're allowed to construct another system.
And then I have some information as far as Mr. Cascadden saying that I have been picking on him and that I took his license from him. I don't know whether now's the time to talk about that, or whether you'd rather talk about that at the Board of Health meeting this afternoon, or what is your preference, Chairman?
I think this afternoon because we're running late,
Okay. Okay,
but that's okay with you,
okay. That's fine, so,
because you'll be there, we'll be there,
okay.
okay?
So is this something that you are going to vote upon now, or are you gonna wait and do it at the Board of Health?
Board of Health.
Actually, the Board of Health will have to, I haven't seen the agenda. I did a skeleton agenda and Misty added to it and published it. As long as it's on there, it's certainly something we can address. I don't have a copy with me.
I don't believe it's on there, it just says sanitarian report.
Then we can certainly discuss, but we couldn't make a decision. And that's at 3 o'clock, if you'd like to come as well.
Right here.
Okay,
Thank you.
thank you.
Morning, gentlemen.
Hi,
Come on down.
could I comment on her statements that she just made to you?
No, let's hold it until this afternoon,
Okay.
if you would, please.
Try to make sure it's sweet.
That's all right.
Well, we got 15 minutes, I don't want to take too much of it.
Congratulations to the rodeo fair board on that award.
It was awesome.
That is great.
Yeah, it was fun to go down and be part of that, but, I wish they'd find a different facility because it was, a lot of people in a very small area. I don't know what they call it, the Maroon Center, up by the old, water tower, or whatever it is, but they had all the contestants and family, and there was probably 500 people in this, and it was pretty tight quarters. I was like, okay, if we could have went in the gym, it would have worked a little better. No, it was fun. It was a good time, and it was long though, because I thought the banquet, you know, when you think about finals banquet, you think about evening time, and so I'm looking at the letter, and it's like, oh, 10 a.m. Ooh. I didn't get a hotel, so I drove home Saturday night to go back Sunday morning, and so there was a very short time frame in between those two, but it was fun, it was nice, and like, what are we gonna do with the dang thing now, because, I mean, we've never had one, so.
Put it in the trophy case.
Well, we don't ever use that office, really. I mean, we have meetings in there, but they don't open that case anymore.
No,
So-
at the beginning, before the rodeo starts?
No, we haven't, it's got a bunch of boxes and stuff in it now, so I don't know what they're gonna do with, well, maybe we'll open it back up, I don't know, so. I don't know, the elections went. And I went, ooh, okay, and Vince kinda went, ooh, okay, so, because everything stayed the same, so, yeah, it was okay, but, no, we're making good progress, I think, and so.
Did you increase the purse?
No, I don't think he did. So, but it worked really effective this year. I mean, we really had well, I caught Vince sitting behind the chutes. I said, what are you doing? He goes, this is the first time ever that I've been able to sit down and actually watch this thing. Had all the right people in the right spots, and things moved well, and we had the ability to go out and I guess for lack of better word, be diplomats or whatever, the rodeo, so we had to sit around and talk to people instead of actually having to run around and chasing our tails. So we had a really good show, and I think moving it this next year, we're gonna move it to the first full weekend in August. And Jacobs is happy because it's off of Eureka as well. And so Eureka didn't wanna move, we just needed it off the Stampede, and they had some.
What's it do to Superior?
Shouldn't hurt. So, and I was hoping Eureka talked about going to PRCA, but they didn't. They're still on the NRA side. So, but we didn't do something to get off the Stampede and Reading on some Eagle Canoe Days and the State Fair, and it's too many things going on. And we had a very successful year though. So we've got 3 new shoot sponsors already for next year. So I think that puts us up to 60 signs. So.
Where are you gonna put them as the signs?
I don't know. We don't know.
Gonna have them from Skyler.
Baseball, yeah.
It is, you know, and that's the thing, and that's one of the things that Larry always talks about, is how many signs we have in our rodeo. And so it's, you know, we have a lot of sponsorship, and hopefully put it on the first full week and actually gets the community back being involved in it. Because it's been, I think the community's kind of been a little resolved about getting involved in the rodeo like it used to be.
Can I make a suggestion?
You bet.
Hit that with the newspaper right away though, because a lot of classes do their reunion
Yep.
based on that.
Yep. And I
So
did tell her when we had that, so we got that little blurb out there right then, that we changed the weekends on it. So I'm hoping maybe it'll bring back the people to where it used to be when we actually closed the streets down and people ran amok and where everybody was having fun. Some people were having fun more than they should, but, you know, hopefully they'll bring it back in. We had, you know, Jess she really helped out quite a bit with that whole advertising this year, so I think that'll work. And then the Mighty Mo said they'll come down and actually set up shop right here and do the broadcasting from the fairgrounds, so that should help, quite a bit. So, they're excited to come down, and I think, I don't know who the other 3 new sponsors we are, but, we'll make some progress, so.
Good job.
So we'll hopefully get there. So I thought we did well considering the fact I think we were behind the 8 ball a little bit with John and Jan leaving. losing Mel, losing John and Jan, I thought we had a pretty successful year, so.
And it went very well.
It did, so, and we had an amazing crowd Saturday night, I don't know if anybody was there for that, but it was a tough enough to working night, really went off well, and so.
I was at a great wedding in Avon that night.
Sorry? I had.
The nerve of them on rodeo weekend.
Yeah, we had, there's a couple pictures of me and Vince and Chuck Larson and John wearing our pink shirts and, what a picture, so, yeah. Especially since Vince was wearing jeans, so that was even more comical, but, yeah. The reason why I asked you on this, we did not, when we did our budget this year, we didn't pay for any vehicles. And we got in a position, but we don't have a car. And so, we had to come and ask, because, we actually, what we want to do is get rid of the two Durangas that are sitting outside, because they're well over 100,000 miles. And, one doesn't run, but, and trade those in, and we found a Ford Fusion, I think is what it is. Yeah, down there at Ford.
Is that like an SUV?
No, it's a car.
It's our red car, the fleet car, that's a
Okay. Oh,
Fusion.
yeah.
Yeah,
It's smaller than a Taurus.
so we went down, Brandon and I, and we actually were at the association, and money was put into that during the thing. We came back, there was 8,000 in that account. We went, okay, that doesn't work. So we talked to Mike and Justin down there, they'll give us $6,000 for those two Durangos. Like I said, one.
Each are together.
That was together?
Yeah.
6,000?
Yeah, they're
They're
yeah.
rough.
The front end shot on the one, and it barely runs. And so that one really kind of hits pretty hard. You know, they're 08s. We got both of those particular units in January of 2008. So they've been through a few officers and been on the road for almost 8 years.
How many miles they got on?
One's 118 and the other one's, well, probably right around 101,000 now, so.
We did get a bid from Bison Ford, and they were gonna give us 15 apiece, 1,500 apiece, because they are used.
Yeah, just
One is going down the road and it's pretty loose, it needs a whole new front end, so.
They've served well.
It did, and they were good vehicles, yeah.
Well, you know, the thing is, you know, when you buy a fire truck, it's a fire truck. You know, when you buy an ambulance, it's built that way, it's built and designed. Police cars, we just take a random automobile and make it into a police car. They're not designed, not designed for it. So the Crown Vics were designed back in the day, they quit making Crown Vics, obviously, and so now they've gone to Durangos and pickups and Explorers. It's still just a civilian car put into a public safety, which is odd, a public safety domain. And it's, you know,
Question for you, are you gonna need, do you foresee that you would need four-wheel drive?
not with the detective. And our thought is that we have enough there, but with Corey right now, I mean, we've been all over the place doing follow-ups. And we wanted something that was gas efficient, but it was also something that was unmarked. So when he's going somewhere, these are the things that I get a little frustrated about, is when we're going somewhere, and even me, when I'm going to a meeting or something, if I go in Yellowstone County and I come across a car crash, I have to stop. And the problem is I got no communications, normally I'm not even wearing a uniform, and that puts people in a bind. And you get out on the highway somewhere, you don't know who you're pulling up on, you don't have a vest on, you're just trying to get from point A to point B. And, you know, you even in a work unit, you're a target. So, we want something that was not, did look like a police car, so if they were doing surveillance, it would work out. So basically what we were looking at this Fusion, it's a bronze colored car. We were gonna tint the windows on it. We have a light bar, I think, that we can put on the inside that fits. Put a radio in it, and then you set it up for crime scene investigation stuff, and the trunk space on it's big enough where it should be able to get everything in there. But,
It is an all-wheel drive
yeah,
car, so do you find them as
But we have several, well, we have what, 3 pickups or something, if you need to get up in the mountains for whatever reason, we could do that still, so, but yeah, we just didn't have any money budgeted this year, and I don't know if that was just an oversight, I don't know if there was a plan, and the sheriff's obviously not here, so I don't know if it was just a miscommunication, we missed it, we didn't, I don't know what happened with it, so,
Are you looking at a new Fusion? Any option of looking at a slightly used? The fleet we bought 8 years ago, had, I forget, just like 20,000 miles, give or take. Is that an option, do you think?
Didn't know if there's any out there, we're just trying to, we didn't realize we didn't have a car for him, and that was the thing that we're kind of getting in a pickle a little bit, to be honest with you, because we don't have, we added that position, and then we're still in that stage, I don't know where we're at with the BOR guy. And, you know, Andy goes, well, if you get rid of the trailers, what am I gonna drive? I don't know, and that's kind of where I'm at right now.
Who's gonna do it?
Andy's doing our BOR right now, and, you know, we wanna get rid of these Durangos, and, that's what he's driving right now, and I don't know what happened, I just don't.
Can't believe those Durangos are shot with that amount of mileage. Maybe if it's Dodge, because ours was on Dodge.
Well,
When I had that expedition, I got it for Rich got his, you know, it had about 118,000. When I finished with that, it was 230,000. And I'd go any place with it, you know, I never had any, it was using a little oil, that was it. So those Durangos must not hold up.
And I think, I know how you used to drive over, you know, dirt road and you know, maybe it could be speed or something on road.
I took care of it.
But they just, I think motor-wise, the one kind of kicks in and out. It's really got some issues as you're going down the highway. You know, motor runtime is probably double what the mileage is on those vehicles because of the runtime. You know, they don't get shut off and they get, but the one is really in a bad spot. It does not move.
It's a good lawnmower, that's what it is.
Yeah, we got it.
You know, we could find, could go in a museum, actually, because that's probably where it needs to be, but, basically what we're looking at, the total for the car and everything was, well, with the trade-in, almost 2 Durangos was $19,744, and I figured if we used, that money that's in, I don't even know what it's called, vehicle replacement, CIP, I think is what it's called. That would take us down to $11,740.
Is it a 16 or a 15?
16.
16.
And we have a fleet number that Ford has assigned us, so we do get a big chunk. I think it was like, what was it, close to $8 grand.
No, we brought it down. We brought it down 24.
24.
Where's 29?
29 and 25 and 24, so. So it brought us down a little bit, you know, on that, but.
I understand the need for new when you're using it for cop stuff, you know, drive it like you stole it.
Well, I'm hoping he doesn't do that, to be honest with you.
Well, that's the thing, I don't think a detective would. It's a different job description than a deputy has. So if you guys could put in a little time to ask if they have a used, gently used Fusion, they can certainly look around the state of the region. If we can save, you know, a couple $1,000 there, I think it'd be a good move, personally. That would be my request.
No forfeitures that you come up with by chance? For such, they pretty much go to the agency that gets them, right? They still be.
The ones.
Well, they haven't been, well, now they changed the law on that as well, so now you have to actually have a conviction before you can seize their property. And then a lot of them aren't even see,
Yeah.
we're not even seeing anything on the drug task force side. They actually went to, because it's gone so low in what you're getting, I mean, you might see the car that's worth $500. We're also using a rental car, and so you can't take the rental car. But they actually went to a lease program, is what they did with the HIDA. They're just leasing them out because they needed to switch them over so quick, because they're getting burned quick. You know, you drive around for a year and people know who they are. So, they've even changed the way they do their stuff as well, so.
I just thought I'd throw it out there.
Yeah. No, it's not like it used to be. I mean, it used to be really, actually fairly.
We was always hoping for a forfeiture or a red or something, so we'd have.
Well, that
From a tow rig.
Yeah, the last we had.
last one we had, and we got rid of it, and that was that Red 4, because it went through that, baseball hailstorm down in Billings. And the guy was actually on the interstate, and every window in that truck got shattered out of it, and they just beat the tar out of it. And so, they're like, can we get rid of it? Might as well, it ain't worth anything more, and it's just hammered. So, so I don't know why they got rid of that thing. So we just don't see them. And that was a case from 2006, I think. So we just don't see them. So, we can call in, and I just, we're obviously, I'm trying not to gouge too hard here, but, we didn't realize. I don't know if that's a conversation piece that we needed to have during budget time, or if that was something that was just overlooked. I don't know what happened, so.
It is a future piece. I think it's something we've asked for a number of years, is what is the plan for the vehicles? We haven't got that, but what we've gotten is, we need a vehicle, so, and we've given it
Yeah.
each time.
Yep.
But we do need a plan. I think it would help you guys to know what the future looks like. It would give us the ability to budget.
And it's, we just got a couple of bids from Weiss, and that's where we've been buying those Explorers. And we just came in a couple of weeks ago, because we're starting to get the Durangos are starting to get some mileage on them. The newer Durangos, I think they're 12s, but they're starting to get that 70,000 miles on it. And so Jamie got some bids, they were 49 grand. And I'm like, yeah, so I know Dusty is gonna talk with, Billion and Bozeman, and they do Lewis and Clark's cars. So he's gonna see what they're doing down there. Unfortunately, these things, it's like car prices are going down in certain aspects, but you try to get a police vehicle, it's a different story. So, we're just trying to get some different ideas on where we can go. We've gone through a couple different suppliers in the last decade, so we'll just have to see, who provides a better service. Right now, we got some problems with the camera system. We got to take it all the way to Great Falls to get work done. That's an entire day wasted right there. So, we'll just look at our options and see what's there. So, I know some people talk about leasing. There's some pros and cons to it, but
Yeah.
like everything else. But most of the lease companies are Utah and down south. Someone's got to take it down there. Somebody's got to pick it up, and that's the heartburn with that. But
I put you on for next Monday,
Okay.
11:15.
Okay.
See what you can find out in that time,
Yes, ma'am.
if you would, please.
I will. We'll just send a text to Michael and.
Yeah, I know they have used cars out there too, so it might be something like a Taurus or something used as well outside of the Fusion. So we'll get some prices and bring them to you guys.
I will say about the Fusion, we have the fleet Fusion. You guys are welcome to use that too, if you wanted to use that kind of a vehicle instead of a patrol vehicle. But we have had no issues with it. It has been a dream car. Now that I've said that, the next person to drive is gonna, break down, but we've really had no issues.
I know Patience, they had one for a while, and she really liked it too, so, I think she just jumped up to a truck, because she got tired of driving that road back there with all the deer and the elk and buffalo and whatever else runs across there. But, so I think it's a good car, so, we just need to find something for them, and we got a little bit of time. Seth doesn't get to transfer over to detective until, Marty's off FTO. So, when she's off FTO, then he can transfer up to that position.
FTO is what?
Field training,
Oh,
so,
sorry, I'm so stupid.
no, it's okay. And then Tony can come up after that, so, and then Brandon's got 2 new detention officers, I think, starting next month, and we should have a new dispatcher starting
Same time.
same time.
Second.
Nice,
So, but it's
excellent.
like, it's never ending, trying to get people to fill in, so, and the quality of apps is atrocious. I mean, five of the apps we had, have been fired from the previous employer in law enforcement. And I went, I don't need this, I don't want it, I don't need it, and one of them, there are 3 agencies in 2 years. No, and he used the word dedicated in the cover letter to me. I struggle with that, so, dedicated, you know, if it was 20 years, it'd be one thing, but 3 agencies in 2 years, that's, I mean, you're jumping every 10 months.
And then not currently working for a law enforcement agency as well.
So, very scary, very, very scary, but, things are working well, so, I think.
Does that work for both of you guys to put them on next week?
Mhm. Yeah,
Okay. That's what we'll do,
all right,
appreciate it.
thank you.
Thank you
Look at that,
Thanks.
look at that,
Done, done, done.
wasn't too bad.
And boss do a surgery.
You know, I think she's okay. You know, I talked to her Saturday, they called, and they were calling me, and I was trying to cut up my own, and so I'm sitting there, and I think I heard my phone buzzing, and I'm trying to get the front quarter off, you know. And I'm like, oh, so I'm trying to go really quick, and then when I said, well, we called the boss, I said, she's trying to recoup, what are you bothering her for? Well, we didn't know. Okay, so I had to call and say, hey, sorry they were bothering you, but she sounded like she was in pretty good spirits, but we had quite an ordeal. We had search and rescue again this weekend for a missing runner up in the Elkhorns, and so they were out Saturday night and Sunday morning. I think they found her about 11. But we had just awful all stuff. I mean, it never stops anymore. So juvenile probation was in this morning, and they're going, what the heck's going on? He's got a stack of papers like that for juveniles. So kids are kids now, I guess. So we'll go with that. So have a great
See you
day.
next week. Thanks. Come on up.
Scott.
How are you today?
Good, how are you?
Good to see your email working.
Yeah, that was a good day. Or a couple days, which is a couple days by the time I really got it going.
Did you get my response this morning?
Yes.
Oh, good.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah, I got your email. So I have quite a few things. I only have like 15 minutes. I have quite a few things I wanted to talk about, so I'll start with the most important, and if I get to all of it, then we'll have another fun meeting. So kind of what I wanted to visit with you about is, as you, I think, saw a letter in your mailbox this morning that Debbie officially gave her retirement notice, which is November 30th. She's going to be sorely missed.
Yes.
So I visited with Michelle and then Debbie Kelly about the rehiring process, and I've been working on a position description. But what I wanted to visit with you a little bit about is, as I grow to understand the budget a little bit more, and trying to, because what I don't want to do is hire someone, because this year my budget says it's fine, but then in the future have to cut back or lay them off because there isn't the money or the money there, basically. So as I've been looking at the budget, trying to figure out what I can hire a new administrative assistant at, I see some issues with that. This year, the budget was approved that I could potentially hire someone full-time. However, with increasing costs, and I think the reason why it was approved is because there was some carryover, so it looked mostly balanced. But when I look at the tax revenue, that's been steadily decreasing. I have increased costs, and so I just don't really see how long-term, unless there's another opportunity for funding, that I'd be able to sustain that. So let me show you some numbers, because I'm a number person, it helps me. So, the number two member for the tax income projected, for this